Hey guys, Happy Cultivator here, and I'm going to show you how to turn this into a $47 ebb and flow hydroponic system. That's right, guys. I went down to my local Lowe's and I picked up a few items. What I got is a 17-gallon tote, a small mixing tub, plastic mixing tub, a 2-foot piece of 1/2-inch PVC, a couple of 1/2-inch couplers with a screw, 1/2-inch screw on each, on the bottom, and on the other side it's simply just a plain fitting there. You need a plain fitting because for your overflow you will be fitting this in. And then I have a 1/2-inch male on one side and a 1/2-inch female with no thread on that. Finally, a 3/8-inch barb to a 1/2-inch MIP fitting, and that's going to be for our pump. You'll also need a 3/8-inch ID, 1/2-inch OD tubing, and a small fountain pump. And wouldn't you know it, if they didn't even say make this the heart of your hydroponics. So there you go. What you will also need is a drill and a couple different drill bits. I will let you know exactly which drill bit when we come to it. But with that, let's get to getting this sweet little system made. The first thing we're going to need to do is take a 3/4 inch bit and drill a hole right dead center. Now we're going to take this same bit and we're actually going to drill a hole right here in the corner. There you go. So that's your overflow, and that will be your intake. Now, the final thing we need to do is drill our drainage hole. Okay, now we just need to take a 1/4 inch drill bit, and we're gonna opposite corner from our intake, we're going to drill our drainage hole. And there you guys go. We have all of the holes that we will need. So the first thing we're going to do is put in the fixture for our overflow tube. We'll cut our overflow tube later and insert it into this coupling right here. So all you got to do is have yourself a little hose gasket on there. Push it through. And it will be a tight fit. You want it to be a tight fit. Then you simply flip it over. And because these are threaded, you just go ahead and thread it on there. Real simple. And there you have it. And then what we'll do is we'll take the 2-inch PVC, cut it, and it'll insert into there like so. So we just have to cut it to fit. Now we're gonna put in the intake. We'll just kind of take the rough spots off there, and we'll take our 3/8 inch barb with the 1/2 inch male thread on the other end. We'll take our other coupler that we had, and now we'll do the same thing basically here. This one's a little bit trickier because you don't want to break the barb, so you can use your coupler to help you push it in. See, that's exactly how you want it too. Nice and snug, with your gasket nice and snug. To be honest with you guys, I couldn't be happier with how this is going. I haven't made one of these in literally 10 years, but it's just a blast and a joy to do it again, to be honest with you. So now it's simply same thing. So same thing, now we're just gonna thread this on. I make it pretty simple for you guys, you know, it's drill a hole and screw it together. And now that there works as your intake, and it's not a problem at all that it comes up a little bit, because you'll just dig out a little bit of hole in your rock wool slab, and it'll allow the water to actually pour right into one of your rock wool slabs, because you'll have 2 rock wool slabs here, and then you'll put your top cubes on those. So we're basically done with the whole hydro system, and now it's simply cutting our overflow tube and then cutting our tubing and setting up our pump. Then we just get some rock wool and fill our reservoir with our nutrients. Okay guys, now all we need to do is measure a 3-inch length of PVC pipe for the overflow tube. And now we'll just cut it right there, and we will pop that into our overflow fitting right there. So there's a couple different ways you can cut this. I have PVC cutters, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it with a regular old hacksaw, just so you guys can see. If you don't have a PVC cutter, you can simply use a small hacksaw. Just want to get it started. And there you go. Very simple and easy to cut, even with a hacksaw. That's why I wanted to cut it with a hacksaw, so you guys could see that, yeah, you don't need any special kind of cutting tool. The PVC cutter would have made it easier because it's a simple clamp down, but you don't really even need a super clean cut, because this is going to fit into your coupler, and then you'll have the clean cut at the top. Now you could clean that up a little bit, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of take my finger and scrape all the loose stuff off, and we'll rinse out the tub before we use it, of course. So yeah, just kind of take your finger and get rid of all that extra stuff right there. Now just take this and pop it into your coupler, and it's as simple as that. And that is a perfect 3-inch overflow tube, because what we're going to do is we're going to throw a 3-inch high slab of rock wool in there, and then we'll take 4-inch cubes and set those on top. And there you have it. That is your hydro system, basically. What we'll need to do now is cut our tubing. Very simple, is we're just gonna cut our tubing. As you see, we already have the pump set up, so all we have to do is cut the length that we need to put into our intake. Alright, so last but not least is cutting our tube, and all we need to do is make a length of tube that goes from our intake to our pump. And what you're going to do is just kind of set your pump in where you're going to want it. Good enough for me. And then there's the outtake of your pump. And the system for me is going to sit basically like so. So I need about a foot length, something like this. So the tubing's very simple to cut. I just used a regular pair of scissors. And there you go, there's my tubing. Now all we have to do is hook that up to our intake. Very simple, and it's just a push fitting. There you have it, folks. The intake is hooked up to the pump and we're ready to rock and roll. All we need to do is throw the rock wool in here, put some nutrients in the water, and this thing is ready to go. I'll fill it up real quick so you guys can get a little proof of concept, and then later on down the road I will be using this. Okay, I've got the reservoir full of water, I've got the tub on top. Now all we got to do is plug it in and watch this pump run, and let's see proof of concept, guys. Ho 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 ho! There you go. Watch her flow. Now we can turn down the flow and dial that in exactly the way we want as well. But there you go, proof of concept, guys. And realize there will be some rock wool in here which fills this space and helps the hydro fill up quicker. But as you can see, the key is to have your drainage hole not flow as fast as the intake, which allows the water to rise. And then the other thing that will happen once you have your rock wool in there is the rock wool also covers the drainage hole, which makes the water drain a lot slower and comes up faster. For instance, if I just were to cover this just a tad bit, you'll watch as the water rises quite quickly. And then what happens when you have your rock wool in there is it will come up all the way to the top of the rock wool and then hit your overflow, and it won't rise any higher than your overflow. The biggest concept with an ebb and flow hydroponic system is that the water pushes spent air out of your root system while dragging in fresh air. So it pushes out CO2 from the roots and sucks in oxygen to the roots that the roots need. Remember from biology that the roots need oxygen, the leaves need CO2. With that, guys, go out to Lowe's and get yourself the pieces and parts and make yourself a $47 hydroponic system. And, as always, keep happy, stay stoned, and urban garden, guys.